see their own company, Motorola, and they formed the first Motorola. Ndio hii iko hapa. You can see the way it was in 1983. Bado nilikuwa sijazaliwa hata mimi. Bado nilikuwa sijazaliwa. Ni kitambo kweli. I was still not born this year. This when the first phone came into existence. Ilikuwa kubwa tu ndio hii iko hapa. Haina screen, around 30 minutes. Little price, you can see in how many 10 shillings times 100. 1, 2, 1, 2, like almost like in. To acquire this, they were very expensive. I have the other services. Siko na kazi nyingi sana ku maintain. Na pia kuongea ilikuwa very expensive. Hizi mtapitia hii ni history mtapitia polepole. Yes. Hizi simu za kwanza zilikuwa za kuongea tu na ku receive calls. Yes. Hakuna vitu kama hivi send and hazikuweko. Hizi mtapitia hii mtapitia history. Hii sio technical. This one you can remember yourself, my brothers and sisters. Sio technical this one. So here Nokia wali introduce time waster games ile ya nyoka. So now this one 1970, are these guys correct? 1970 is it making logic really? I confirm from I'm some more research on this. Who's Nokia famous 1970s. Hapo anasema the first commercial phone was in 1993. So you can also do everything to the research here. Can you find out whether these guys are talking the truth? Okay. Those years are contradicting. So there was this famous game, next game. Now this one changed the model of people, changed how people thought of communication. Yes. Because za kwanza ilikuwa tu ni hii mkebe Motorola, lakini hapa ikawa na nini? Ikawa na game. So people realized that there is more than calls. A lot can be done. What can be done? Other games followed. Is tic-tac-toe, Tetris, Pong. So the demand increased for these gadgets. Demand increased because they can do many activities. So what was the solution? Because of the difficult for the manufacturers to keep with the demand for the softwares, because customers wanted more. So there was a discussion, and that discussion came up with a protocol, wireless application protocol. You take your time to understand these things clearly. This protocol, it is to allow internet connectivity in phones. Easy as easy Nokia. Here you got internet connectivity. It was only using what? Telephone. Okay? Global Mambelo system. Only telecommunication. There was no issue of another media of connection. Hata kwa Nokia, the same thing. There was no increased demand for many features from this gadget. Now it was now started ikaanzishwa, but yet there was no good result. Okay? You know, they were using JavaScript, media, Flash. So many things were using. Mobile internet used text, all these things. Go through it polepole tu unaelewa vizuri. Hii tu ni history. History haina so many things, lakini vizuri mjue. You go through it. These are the form factors. Shapes za simu. Kuna hii kadeba. Hizi mliziona wengine wenu. Ama mimi hizi niliziona. Hata hii all these hizi niliziona. I saw all these form factors. They are called what? Various mobile form factor. Where this one? Form factor. Sio types of form, ni form. Yaani design yake ya mwili wake. Hii kuweko, hii ya plum. Yawa there. Yes. The issue of the WAP, it was to address these challenges, say slow resolution screens. Yeah, icon and big resolutions. Storage ilikuwa limited, like you said. There was no haina capacity to store. Power battery yake ni kidogo. Device is not capable of running browsers. Costs were very high. Now these are now some of the shortcomings. Browsers zilikuwa na shina bado browsers, na pia bandwidth and data cost ilikuwa very bado hatupata. So these are the features of this WAMP. These are the features of your WAMP. It is a stripped version of what? HTTP. Inakuandika hizo pages, simple web. Yes. Okay. Then what happened? There were so many manufacturers. There were so many manufacturers, na kila mtu, and there were so many software developers, and all of them they were developing their own browsers. But they created one browser. Yes. They decided now they agree to have one browser, and then kazi ya content ikaachiwa watu wengine. Okay? Content, now what I mean, because now these are a client server architecture. Asa handset manufacturers wakaachana na kazi ya content, because kila mtu alikuwa akitengeneza simu yake content anaitengeneza. Asa hiyo speed iko very slow, hiyo kazi ikawa shida, kwa sababu mimi nimetengeneza simu, kila kitu nitengeneza, hiyo kazi ikawa shida. Wakadelegate, wakaangree one browser, alafu kuna third party developers for content. Okay, kukiwa na custom web portals, kukiwa na some subscribers, kukiwa na mechanism ya these are the earlier web developers. CNN wakaanza kutengeneza data yao, content zao na kuuzia watu through the phones. All these things, mtapitia these things. Other difficulties, browsers are very slow and frustrating. Try to type long URLs with numerical keypads ilikuwa shida. Pages are difficult to navigate. Site written once for all phones. Site written once for all phones. Ilikuwa challenge. Sometimes iliitwa wapi ilikuwa nchini America. Wait and pay. because it was consuming a lot of money. So now what happened here, some of the software developers wa operating system kama Apple na BlackBerry, they are very expensive. They are very expensive. Apple, they are very expensive. Uh, BlackBerry, they were extremely for the phones. They were very expensive. So, and they were charging a lot. They were charging a lot of money to the developers, other third-party developers, manufacturers. Okay. So there was a meeting which was held to discuss the way forward. Hii ni historia tunapitia historia tujue. Hii sio kazi hii yangu itakuwa serious kuanzia next week. Lakini hii I'm only taking you through. Lakini you begin details because these are a rich area for testing. There are a lot of things to be tested here in terms of background. Apart from practicals, we have some background kidogo about this. Can you share something about Android with the people? How many vile zilianzia? Do you have some hint? Yes, you can develop app nzuri sana. But do you have some background kidogo tu? Ndio tunapata hapa sasa. Okay? So now in this case, Apple apps, they are expensive to develop. IBM wakitengeneza simu walikuwa wanalipa pesa nyingi hiyo kampuni ya kutengeneza OS ya Apple ya Steve Jobs. Okay? Hiyo kampuni ya Steve Jobs, unamkumbuka? He was a very famous American innovator who was in charge of that particular company. Fee ilikuwa very high for the developers and the handset developers and chip makers. So there was a meeting, business alliance, which was coordinated by Google to discuss how to compete with iPhones and BlackBerry in 2007. Iliitwa Open Handset Alliance. All these people are on board, chip makers, handset manufacturers, software developers, service providers, all over the world. They go in USA, and they agreed that there will be one operating system, chip makers, handset manufacturers, software developers, they can use that software for free. That is why there was a company which was developing Android. That's where this name came from. Android came from this one, Ade Robin. Yes, these first three they came from there. Okay, in the respect of this man. So it was acquired by Google, that software from this company, and it covers as an Android project. So Go they came up with the structure of the initial code. Now wakapeana all the tools online, alafu sasa every manufacturer, all these members over here, chip makers, handset manufacturers, all this now, including myself now, because I'm now a developer, I'm now free to use this Android Studio for free. Even yourself. It is because of this initiative of Google. Otherwise, mpaka saa hii tukikuwa tunatoa simu siku na software na tuwezi program siko locked kama za kitambo. zilikuwa locked. There was nothing you could do inside there. Vile imekuja ni hivyo hivyo. That's how some people are when they have power. They can lock you out of the system. That's why you need to work hard. Tuwe na hiyo independence hata sisi Africa. We can have our own things. Okay? So that's how Android came into being. It was acquired and it became free. So these are some of the Arabu ikashika moto. Kwa nini? Almost all the manufacturers wa handset waliipokea. Samsung, Motorola, Dell, Sony Ericsson, HTC, wote, Amazon, wote wanatumia Android. Ndio maana market ya Android iko juu sana. Na hiyo Android inatumia Java. So that's why Java programming language is very, very popular in the world. Yes, many devices are using Java. Many devices. Because Android ni Java. Android ni Java. Ndaona kitu kiendelea. Samsung, they are using kila kitu ni Java. Hiyo ni Android. That is why if you want to be safe in the job market, do at least Java na Python. Java na safe. So all these one mpaka wote waliingia kwa Java, kwa Android, wakawa wanatumia the operating system. Okay? You can see how it has been growing. First, shipping asset by this one, can market, it can take over. By 2010, it took over since 2007. By 2010, it can take over. It got the most dominating operating system in the world in the smartphone and in the mobile computing devices. Many of them are using hata kwa smart TVs, kwa magari. The man is able to teach Android in university. That is where we are sure you can contribute in Kenya and in Africa. And some part of Asia, Android brands, Samsung, Glass, all these are now mobile operators. These are companies now which are in charge with what? Operations of the telecommunication. Kama Safaricom Kenya. In Kenya. Now these are global mobile operators. Airtel, all of them, they are in the same meeting. Okay? These are some of the apps which were first killer apps. One as scare is Dress to Kill. In your ladies, they Dress to Kill Men. Other than Android, first killer app. Everybody was going for this app. Email, browser, Chrome, kuna ingine nini, Google Play Store. All these are killer apps, first killer apps, and they were very difficult to resist when they were created. They were not, you guys could resist their influence. Emails, kila mtu anataka email, kila mtu. You can continue reading here on how they were operating. Okay. The Android marketplace, where are we now? Yes, expand kwa tablets. Yes, expand kwa watches, smart watches, video console, just video, others are TVs. They get to wearable. Okay. I think I need to update my tutorial. Tumefikia, tumeenda beyond smartphone. Tumeenda kwa tablet, goggles. Then pia kuna ngogo, miwani, smart goggles. Okay, programmable goggles. Okay, ziko miwani ambayo unaweza program. Yes, ukitaka ifungue saa fulani, ukitaka nini, Those are almost free, and it's that many things also improve each version of Android. It has new features. Okay, higher Android platform devices. They are free. They are complete, open, and free platforms. Complete. They are secure. They are robust. Open. Open source licensing. No license. Free to developers to develop. So ensure hapo umeelewa vizuri polepole tu. Hapa nataka urudie polepole uelewe hapo. These are now the various versions, the K diagram of Android. This is discussed next class. These are various versions. The Android, this is my license, Tangalia. Yes. Why is developing in common? I'm a popular, familiar and inexpensive tools for development. SDKs are freely available. Okay. Languages they are familiar. Java. Unajua Java. Unajua mambo ya HTML, JavaScript. These are things mambo ya API programming unajua. Haya. IDE environment Eclipse ni tunaijua. Najua kuna Android IDE. The easiest to use is what? Android IDE ambayo niwaambie mdownload. Okay? Halafu pia you can Android IDEs, these IDEs cover. They can run in any operating system. Kama ni Windows XP, Windows Vista, all these mpaka Mac, Linux, and even the latest operating system. They can run there. Okay? Ukiangalia these things, they are not difficult to use in the period. Okay? These are some of these are just browsers. And what I want. Yes, here. Nataka kumalizia na hapa leo. Architecture of what? Wanatumia Linux. Using Linux pale chini. Linux. Hii ni Linux iko hapa chini. And these are drivers for the various features about tuliona. Kama display screen, kuna drivers za display, kuna camera drivers, memory drivers, hii for input output drivers, power management, audio drivers, Wi-Fi. Kama GPS ziko, kuna GPS driver, they are there. The bottom of Android Studio ni Linux. Chini kabisa. Next layer ni libraries. Open system interconnection. Unajua hiyo? Open system interconnection. Ile structure ya operating system. Unaelewa vile hiyo inakaa? Sasa hii ni ya simu. Hii ni ya simu, hii ya normal operating system. Sasa hii ni ya simu. Ama ya this mobile computer devices specifically for Android. Inakaa hivi. The bottom layer ni Linux kernel. Hii ndio engine. To the hardware. These are drivers. Now these libraries kutumia. So kuna hii database SQLite in a database.